Tonight on CTV News at 6, hard questions about Alberta separatism.
In my opinion, that is treasonous activity.
A separatist group meets with White House officials.
We're not entering into any agreements with the United States. We're not funded by the United States.
Murder charge in St. Albert after a mother is found dead, her baby missing.
A woman and her child should be planning for tomorrow, not being mourned today.
And lockdown. Shoppers forced to find shelter for the second time this week at West Edmonton Mall.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. BC's Premier is calling the meeting between an Alberta separatist group and officials with the U.S. government treason. David Eby made the comments at the First Minister's meeting in Ottawa. CTV's Nerman Issa joins us now. Nerman, several premiers and the Prime Minister chimed in on this issue. What did they have to say?
Well, Jeff, David Eby says it is important for Canadians to push back on separation talk. He says that's especially true at a time when the country faces a profound threat, such as the U.S. president calling Canada the 51st state.
Those who would solicit a foreign government to try to come in and take over our country or break it up, that's not part of our vision for Canada. That's not Canadian conduct. And in fact, that is, I described it as an old-fashioned word because we haven't had to use it for a long time. In my opinion, that is treasonous activity.
Legal counsel for Alberta's separatist movement says they met with U.S. State Department officials. Eby says this kind of activity needs to be stopped. Jeffrey Rath called Eby's comments dumb. He says the meeting was part of a feasibility study.
We're private citizens. We have no authority to enter into agreements on behalf of anybody in Alberta. We're not entering into any agreements with the United States. We're not funded by the United States.
Alberta's Premier was once again asked her stance on this. Danielle Smith says she believes in a sovereign Alberta under a united Canada. She says polls show 30% of Albertans are feeling hopeless under the current system.
That's about 1 million people, and I'm not going to demonize or marginalize a million of my fellow citizens when they've got legitimate grievances. What we need to do is we need to give Albertans hope. We need to show them, not just tell them, not just words, but with actions, that Canada can work.
Now, Prime Minister Mark Carney would not say whether he felt there was foreign interference from the United States. Now, Jeff, he says Canada expects the U.S. administration to respect Canadian sovereignty.
All right, Nerman, thank you. Nerman Issa live tonight. Treaty chiefs are reminding the Premier and Albertans the province does not have the authority to secede from Canada.
Treaty trumps legislation.
It's about time that the general public educates themselves on treaty and how the province came to be.
Treaty 6 and 8 chiefs were joined by other Indigenous chiefs today to call on the UCP government to respect treaty rights. Chiefs say the treaties are with the Imperial Crown, not with the province of Alberta, and Alberta has no jurisdiction over their lands. Grand Chief Joey Pete says beyond the legal implications, the idea of separation is stoking racial discrimination.
The violence, the hate, the division that it has caused for our communities in our local towns, it's dangerous for our people to be going into the towns alone.
Indigenous groups have launched legal proceedings against the province over Bill 14, which allows for citizen initiative petitions, saying it fails to align with Canada's Constitution. A spokesperson for the Justice Department says Alberta honors treaty rights as recognized by the Constitution. It says it does not have any comments on the lawsuit as it is before the courts. Prime Minister Mark Carney was also asked today about the Memorandum of Understanding on a pipeline between Alberta and Ottawa. Carney says it doesn't necessarily have to go through BC's northwest coast. He also says there are a lot of steps to go through.
Under the MOU, a bitumen pipeline to Asian markets is the way it's described, and therefore the specific routes are not outlined. Of course, work is being done to explore the feasibility of various routes, and there are many factors that affect the feasibility, starting with Indigenous support, as well as technical and economic considerations.
Carney pointed out the MOU contains many other pieces, including cooperation on nuclear power and creating a carbon capture and storage industry. A 23-year-old mother from St. Albert is dead. Police believe her 9-month-old has also been killed. The woman's common-law partner is charged with second-degree murder. Connor Hogg reports.
A woman and her child should be planning for tomorrow, not being mourned today.
A man from St. Albert is facing charges in connection with the death of his common-law partner and the presumed death of their 9-month-old at an apartment complex in St. Albert. Police say last Friday they were called to the family's apartment where building management had found a suspicious package. When officers arrived, they found the remains of a woman. She was later identified as 23-year-old Ayla Egotik-Learn. Her 9-month-old daughter is missing, but police believe she was also killed.
We continue our efforts to locate the remains of Braley.
33-year-old Christopher Beasley was arrested earlier this week at a hotel in St. Albert. He's been charged with second-degree murder and 2 counts of indignity to a human body.
The date of the charge of the indignity being December 5th, when we believe this offense happened, there had been some time that had passed.
Police say Egotik-Learn was from Cambridge Bay, Nunavut, and moved to St. Albert in April 2024. RCMP say she met the accused around the same time.
She was so proud of her baby.
Kaylee Medved-Foti lives 4 doors down from the family's apartment. She remembers her former neighbor as quiet, friendly, and devoted to her daughter.
She loved her baby so much, and she would always show me her, and she was always so proud.
I think it's important to recognize the impact on the family and friends of these 2 individuals. They've suffered an absolutely tragic loss.
Court records show Beasley was on probation for assaulting Egotik-Learn last year. He's scheduled to appear in court next Monday. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
An apparent shooting this afternoon at West Edmonton Mall forced shoppers and staff to take shelter in back rooms. It's the 2nd lockdown at the mall this week. Miriam Valdez-Carletti joins us now live at the mall. Miriam, what happened this afternoon?
Well, Jeff, police say that 2 people were walking around the Bourbon Street area of the mall, and one of them fired what appeared to be a gun at the other person, and the mall was put into a lockdown soon after. This was the scene in the mall outside the Boston Pizza. One woman says she saw a man with most of his face covered pointing a gun at someone. And she also took these photos of what appears to be a bullet casing on the ground and a bullet hole on a staircase. Other shoppers saw police working after the lockdown was lifted less than an hour later.
I saw 2 officers with a yellow tape across the barricade leading to the entrance going upstairs. And I don't know what's happening, but there's couple of officers, female officers there.
Police say no injuries have been reported and there's no further danger to the public. No arrests have been made. And on Monday, police received reports of a person pointing a gun at another person at the mall. A 15-year-old was apprehended, and police say that weapon turned out to be a toy that was designed to look like a real gun. Jeff?
All right, Miriam, thank you. That's Miriam Valdez-Carletti live for us tonight. A man is facing several charges after RCMP say a 14-year-old girl in Fort McMurray sent photos of a sexual nature to someone in Edmonton. A 42-year-old man was arrested 2 weeks ago. He's facing 4 charges, including luring a child and possession of child pornography. Steep fines and jail time are on the way for predatory tow truck drivers. The practice, which sees towing companies taking advantage of drivers after a crash, has become more widespread in Alberta. CTV's Tim Brooke has details.
The towing industry has changed since Big Hill started up 49 years ago.
The public have lost some confidence in the towing industry, and that's painful for those of us who've been doing it for this long.
This company says it operates completely above board, but thanks to bad actors, its reputation has taken a hit. Take the Duchek family. When their car was totaled, a company was on scene immediately offering a verbal deal that was never honored.
What I thought was going to be about $300 was going to be $3,000.
It's just one story of predatory towing. Operators often show up to crash scenes before even emergency crews. Once there, they'll use aggressive tactics to get drivers on their side and then hand out sky-high invoices after the fact.
You know, after an accident, your adrenaline's pumping, you're kind of panicked, and you think these guys are there to help you. and they're really not.
And so changes are coming. Starting in April, violators could face fines as high as $300,000 or up to 2 years behind bars.
A lot of them is related to organized crime. And that's why they're so good at it. That's why they're when they were shut out of business in Ontario, that's why they moved west.
The new rules mean all drivers must clearly communicate all towing and storage costs and obtain complete consent before towing begins.
If we go down this path and we see that it's not working, we're prepared to take more action, whatever's required to protect Albertans.
Big Hill Towing wants the move to help Albertans and the names of those just trying to do their job.
The hope is that this is enough to make sure that the people who have no intention of running ethical businesses in service to the community just go away.
Tim Brooke, CTV News, Calgary.
Oilers forward Leon Draisaitl has been nominated as a German flag bearer for the opening ceremonies of the Winter Olympics. German fans can vote online and choose between Draisaitl and 5 other finalists. The 2 winners, one man and one woman, will be revealed next Thursday. Draisaitl was asked what it would be like if Team Germany faces off against Team Canada and his friend Connor McDavid.
It's scary for him. No, that would be really special, of course. But, at the end of the day, when it's all, it might feel a little weird at first, but when the puck drops, he's going to look to give his team the best chance to win, and I'm going to do the same for our country. And I think that's what makes those tournaments so great.
The Oilers host the Sharks at Rogers Place tonight. Connor Ingram will start in goal. If the Oilers win, it will be the first time they've won 3 games in a row this season. And Josh is out and about tonight in the French Quarter for the Flying Canoe Volant. Josh.
Yeah, really starting to pick up now, and from tonight right through to the end of Saturday, it will be all kinds of action down here. You got music, you got a walk through Mill Creek. Well, why don't I let Daniel Cornway with Flying Canoe Volant tell you all about all the things. Daniel, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm spectacular. Kids are having fun on the ice slide here. The music's started to play. What can people expect when they come down this year?
Well, you can expect pretty much everything, apart from maybe a roller coaster that we don't have, but we have a great snow slide behind
There's always next year.
Yeah, there's always next year. There's a lot of ambition, but you're going to see a lot of live music, jigs and reels. You're going to hear Jay Gilday down at the Indigenous camp, Roger Dallaire at the Trappers Cabin. We got the Franco Dome. There's going to be a DJ in there tonight and a drag show. And then we got the Projection Dome. We're showing the premiere of Alex Janvier's Soul Symphony piece on the life and work of Alex Janvier.
Yeah, so lots on the arts side, and then for people that want to just take a beautiful stroll through the ravine.
That's right. So down, as you make your way from the Indigenous camp, well, if you start at, let's say, it's a 3-kilometer loop. So
that's nothing. 3K in these kind of temperatures is easy.
Right. It's like a half 5K, right? So anyway, we'll be positive, but everything's illuminated with original lanterns that are created predominantly by Dylan Toymaker, our lead artist. Yeah. And it's magical down there. And it's really, people say it's Narnia-like. It's really trippy as well. So it's a lot of fun.
It's a dark time of year, but this festival brings a little bit of light into it. And you know what? It is a free festival to attend, but when you come down, look for one of these. And you just tap that like that, and then that'll help make this festival vibrant and continuing to grow for years and years. Daniel, thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Have fun over the next couple of days. Well, maybe as much fun as these kids are sliding down the ice slide. Temperatures today hit 2 degrees for a daytime high. Should be even warmer in the coming days, although for now we have slipped to -3. Take a closer look at that forecast. Talk about the chances for some rain and freezing rain in parts of the province late tomorrow as well. All later in the show.
All right, thank you, Josh. Still to come on CTV News at 6, federal conservatives gather in Calgary.
I like an underdog. I love a good redemption story, but I also want the message to come across very clearly that mistakes were made.
The AGM, that will include a test of Pierre Poilievre's leadership position, and
it's really important to us that we flip that switch and show them how much we care about them.
How you can show some love to shelter workers in February.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Federal Conservatives are in Calgary to chart out the party's path forward after last spring's election loss. Delegates will also decide whether Pierre Poilievre is still the right person for the party's top job. CTV's Jordan Canagan has more.
The chairs are ready and the stage is set for the Federal Conservative Party's national convention.
This is the only time he will have this year where he gets 3 days, basically, 3 days of attention on him in a venue that he controls to the nth degree.
The Calgary event offers a chance for a reset and to chart a path forward. Pierre Poilievre will face a leadership review after losing the election and his Ottawa seat, giving delegates a chance to vote on whether he stays on.
I will be voting to keep him. I do think he's the best person to continue to lead this party.
And I'm torn, honestly. I feel like part of me believes that, I like an underdog. I love a good redemption story, but I also want the message to come across very clearly that mistakes were made.
Mistakes in a campaign that saw the Conservatives lose a double-digit lead in the polls and fail to form government. Still, support for Poilievre is expected to remain high.
I think that he's going to do well, but that's the beauty of our membership, is that it's in their hands to decide. I just have one vote, so it's every member who attends here as a delegate will have an opportunity to contribute to that.
Delegates and members will also have their say on policy. Priorities will be discussed in sessions through Friday and Saturday, though Poilievre isn't bound by any proposals that make it to the floor.
But it will be an opportunity for the party and for Mr. Poilievre's team to engineer, if you want, an issue onto the floor or a set of issues on the floor that they're interested in. If they take advantage of that opportunity, Mr. Harper certainly did in 2005, that'll be an indication of what they're investing their time and effort in.
Jordan Canagan, CTV News, Calgary.
Poilievre will deliver the keynote speech tomorrow night. Women's shelters across Alberta are hoping you'll write a Valentine to its workers. Throughout February, the Alberta Council of Women's Shelters will collect Valentine cards and messages of gratitude for the staff. You can mail or email your card, create your own, or use the shelter's pre-made template. At the beginning of March, all the cards and messages will be distributed to shelters across the province.
There's so many people that are in the social services sector that join the social services sectors because they care and they have big hearts. It's really important to us that we flip that switch and show them how much we care about them and that they are appreciated and give love back to them for the work that they do.
There are 6 women's shelters in the Edmonton area. Calgary police are adding a new kind of backup, one with 4 paws and a calming presence. As officers face increasingly traumatic calls, a specially trained dog is stepping in to support sworn and civilian members. Mark Villani reports.
Responding to the most dangerous calls. Police officers physically put their lives on the line. They're often first on scene of a fatal car crash, a homicide, and other life or death situations.
There's lots of traumatic incidents that they're going through. We're dealing with lots of mental health. You've heard us talk about, 19% of our workforce is off.
But this 4-legged friend aims to help solve those issues. Meet Sadie, a 2-year-old black lab named as the Calgary Police Service's first operational stress intervention dog. She's vested up and specially trained to support sworn CPS officers and civilian members following difficult calls.
Interactions with these dogs can reduce stress responses, lower anxiety levels, and help individuals regulate emotional distress.
Sadie was bred and trained by BC and Alberta guide dogs, a strenuous 1.5-year process to offer calming support in moments when words alone aren't enough.
So when somebody is having a bad day, needs an emotional downregulation or additional support, our dogs are specifically trained for those members.
Bringing this canine into action was also made possible thanks to funding from Wounded Warriors Canada and Calgary-based nonprofit Pulling Together for Mental Health.
When you begin to experience stress, your entire body chemistry changes. That dog knows you're undergoing stress before you do.
The latest step in making sure those who swore to protect Calgarians feel supported too.
Whatever we can do to assist and support them, this is what we're here for.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
The Edmonton Police Service added its first operational stress intervention dog last April. Still ahead, grab your clubs.
Got a lot of work to do yet,
Golf season makes a brief winter appearance in Edmonton.
We're down here at Flying Canoe Volant with William. William, you're having fun tonight?
Yes.
William, do you think it's going to be warmer or colder tomorrow?
I think colder.
We'll see if William is right after the break.
Okay, so we're going to talk today about how days are starting to get longer. Have you noticed that it's like getting a little bit brighter after school now? And in the late afternoons? Yeah, and that's because of the way that when the Earth orbits around the sun, it's tilted. Take a look at our globe. Is our globe straight up and down, or is it tilted? It's tilted, and because it's tilted as it orbits around the sun hits different parts of the Earth at different times of the year. Let's look at our diagram here. What's that purple line? The equator, right. And at winter, the sun's most direct rays, are they north or south of the equator? South of the equator, that's right. And so as we head towards spring, at spring, the sun's rays will be right over top of the equator, and here in summer, they're going to be way north of the equator. So right now, we're kind of right about here as the sun's rays are starting to get a little bit higher and higher on the Earth, closer and closer to the equator. And so our sunset now is just after 5 p.m. And you know what? In a little under a month, sunset's going to be at about 6 p.m. Who's happy about that? Yeah, me too. These are the grade 5s from smart kids, forecasters of the future, and you are
CTV Weather Watchers brought to you by the Alberta Teachers Association. Strong schools equal a strong Alberta.
How about some golf this weekend? Outside. It's possible because Canada Golf Card is opening to take advantage of warmer weather. The Southwest Edmonton driving range says this is its earliest opening ever.
Well, it is a big job. That's why a lot of people don't do it. Like I said, we like to kick off golf here in Edmonton. We have 3 feet of snow out here and got a lot of work to do yet, but we'll be ready to rock.
The driving range on Ellerslie Road will be open tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday from 12 until 5. Oh, lots of options to spend time outside this weekend, hopefully in warm weather, Josh.
Yeah, it'll definitely be in warm weather. The only thing that we really kind of have to keep an eye on is tomorrow evening, this chance of rain or freezing rain. Now, I think here in the city, it may not technically be freezing rain because temperatures are going to be hovering right around the freezing mark, but you're probably still going to have some fairly slick sidewalks and roadways there early Saturday morning. We'll get to all that in a moment, including the freezing rain warning that's already in effect for northwestern Alberta. But right now, River Valley Sky Cams brought to you by Action Furnace Fixed Rider. It's free. It's -3 after hitting a high of 2 earlier this afternoon. Got to -4 in Fort McMurray, -2 in Grand Prairie, and -2 for a high in Red Deer. But double-digit daytime highs further south in Calgary and Lethbridge. We've had some snow in the Fort McMurray area, and we've had some mixed precipitation just to the south of Grand Prairie earlier and in the Whitecourt region. Now, as that little pink zone there south of the O on Whitecourt moves further east and closer to the Edmonton area, I think it will fall apart. So I think it's just cloudy skies here in the city overnight tonight. And it's probably just cloudy for most of tonight in through this freezing rain warning as well for Grand Prairie, Peace River, High Prairie areas. This is mainly for tomorrow for that northwest corner of the province. Watch the timeline on this. There's tomorrow morning. There's some rain and freezing rain from Grand Prairie stretching south through Grand Cache down towards the Edson area. And it'll continue to develop as the day goes on. So by the afternoon hours, temperatures are probably around or just slightly above 0 in Grand Prairie. And as that is falling as rain, in some spots it's just going to be wet. In other areas, it's going to be freezing on contact. Now, as far north as High Level and Fort McMurray, I think it's more snow than rain and freezing rain. In the Edmonton area, though, and maybe as far south as Red Deer, it's full-on rain or freezing rain. I don't even think this is going to be a rain-snow mix in the Edmonton area. That's how warm the air is in the mid and upper levels. So your best time most likely time for that rain in Edmonton and surrounding areas is going to be between about 8 p.m. and midnight tomorrow. So it's an evening rain event, moves off fairly quickly. And by Saturday morning, yes, roads may be a little slick, sidewalks especially may be a little ice-coated in a couple of spots. But with temperatures kind of hovering around zero, even through the early morning hours Saturday, I really don't think, at least in the city, it's going to be a really significant freeze. And then we'll get some clearing for Saturday, partly cloudy skies, a little gusty as well. It's -3 in Edmonton, Red Deer, and Grand Prairie right now. It's -4 in Fort McMurray. We'll drop to about -7 tomorrow morning, and then up to 3, maybe even 4 degrees under mostly cloudy skies tomorrow. And then that chance of showers in the evening. A little gusty for Saturday, but a high of about 5, 2 on Sunday, 4s for Monday, Tuesday. And right now, Jeff, I have 6 in the forecast for next week. There's a chance we could be significantly warmer than that. The record high for Wednesday of next week is 9. I think we might be close. So I don't know if you want to go hit golf balls at a driving range in those kind of temperatures, or you just want to come down to the French Quarter and sit outside and enjoy the fire and some beverages and some beats. But anything that you have planned for outdoors this weekend looks pretty good, as long as you watch those road conditions there Saturday morning and Friday night if you're out on highways.
You know, both those options sound great. Thanks, Josh. Can Man Dan has formed a new partnership with the local Sobeys with the goal of helping thousands of nonprofits in Alberta. For the last 15 years, Daniel Johnstone has camped outside the Belmont Sobeys during the holiday season to raise donations for the food bank. He's now opened a community engagement office inside the store. Johnstone will meet with charitable organizations and offer his help to groups looking for vital support. His office is open from 8 to 4, Mondays and Thursdays. Walk-in appointments are available. However, people are being encouraged to phone the store in advance. Canada Beef is aiming to chip away at growing food insecurity across the country with its 4th annual Burger It Forward campaign. 357 restaurants across Canada will have a feature burger available for the month of February. $1 from every burger sold will go towards supporting local food banks. 3 Vikings on 124th Street will be participating in the campaign for the 4th straight year.
It's a Swiss mushroom burger, so it's a beef and caramelized onion patty, and then we serve it with like a Swiss mushroom sauce over top, and then our crispy onions on a brioche bun with some leaf lettuce.
Most locations, including 3 Vikings, will be matching the total raised on purchases of the feature burger. Burger It Forward runs February 1st to 28th. Still ahead on CTV News at 6, the national spotlight on Alberta Separatists meeting with White House officials.
We expect the U.S. administration to respect Canadian sovereignty. I'm always clear in my conversation with President Trump to that effect, and then move on to what we can do together.
The Prime Minister and Premiers join the separation conversation, and
King Trump's private army.
The Boss is back with new material, a protest song against American immigration enforcement. Stay with us.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Returning to our top story, in the national reaction to the Alberta separatist movement, BC Premier David Eby spoke out today about a reported meeting between members of the group and White House officials, calling their actions treason. As CTV's Abigail Beeman reports, the focus for the Prime Minister today was unity.
Our country is more united, ambitious, and determined than it has been in decades.
All premiers and the Prime Minister around the table in Ottawa, but that message of unity is infringed on by a Financial Times report. The Alberta separatism movement has been meeting the Trump administration and is seeking $500 billion in credit in the event of a successful referendum.
To go to a foreign country and to ask for assistance in breaking up Canada, there's an old-fashioned word for that, and that word is treason.
It's ludicrous, right? I mean, we're there on a fact-finding basis. There's nothing treasonous about it.
The group says it did meet with U.S. officials, but is only doing a feasibility study
to determine whether that that facility would be available on a going forward basis. And whether it's with U.S. Treasury or Goldman Sachs or JP Morgan through a bond issue.
The U.S. State Department said it regularly meets with civil society types and no commitments were made. A similar response from the White House, which tells CTV News no support or commitments were conveyed. The U.S. Secretary of the Treasury has weighed in on separatism before.
Alberta is a natural partner for the U.S.
I would expect that the U.S. administration would respect Canadian sovereignty and that they would confine their discussion about Alberta's democratic process to Albertans and to Canadians. And I will raise that with my delegate in Washington.
At the closing press conference, the Prime Minister would not answer whether he felt there was foreign interference from the United States.
I expect the U.S. administration to respect Canadian sovereignty. I'm always clear in my conversation with President Trump to that effect, and then move on to what we can do together.
While Canada faces separation speculation further east too, with the rise in popularity of Quebec's Parti Québécois.
He's going to call a referendum. If he, God forbid, he gets elected, I mark my words, within a year and a half, he'll be calling a referendum to separate from Canada. Unacceptable.
As for the substance of the meetings, a big focus was the upcoming review of the North American Free Trade Deal. The Prime Minister said he and the premiers agreed to meet monthly once that review is underway. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Bruce Springsteen is taking aim at the Trump administration with a new anti-ICE protest song called Streets of Minneapolis.
King Trump's private army from the DHS, guns belted to their coats.
The boss says he wrote the song on Saturday, the same day nurse Alex Preddy was killed. It's dedicated to Preddy and Renee Good, who was also killed by federal agents in Minneapolis. The title, a throwback to Springsteen's 1994 hit Streets of Philadelphia about the AIDS epidemic. A Minnesota man is facing assault charges in connection with an attack against a U.S. lawmaker at a town hall meeting. The 55-year-old is facing third-degree assault charges. He's accused of attacking U.S. Democratic Representative Ilhan Omar. She was condemning U.S. immigration raids in Minnesota when a man carrying a syringe approached and sprayed her with what police say was a mixture of water and apple cider vinegar. She was not hurt. So-called poop pills have researchers believing they may one day shape the future of cancer therapy. New research is showing promise in the treatment of multiple types of cancer. CTV's Pauline Chan reports.
They call it fecal microbiota transplants, or FMT, also commonly known as poop pills.
It was the first time in the world anybody actually used healthy donor FMT in kidney cancer patients.
Blue capsules containing the diverse gut bacteria of healthy donors.
On average, we have to screen 43 people to get a person who passes the screen.
Saman Malecki says the gut is actually the largest immune organ in the body.
The drugs that we are giving kidney cancer patients are immunotherapy drugs. These drugs work through activating the immune system.
But there are side effects.
They can activate an immune response against the lining of our gut, and the patients can experience severe diarrhea or colitis. And sometimes that can be actually life-threatening.
Researchers at London Health Sciences combined FMT with immunotherapy for 20 patients with stage 4 kidney cancer, and they found that not only did response to the immunotherapy improve, those potentially life-threatening side effects were almost gone.
So we are dealing with a combination treatment that is safe. It can improve response, but also it can reduce toxicity and improve your quality of life as a patient.
Not only did it help kidney cancer patients, a second study out of Montreal looked at other cancers.
From the lung cancer study, we showed that the response rate to immunotherapy went from about 40% to 80%. And in melanoma, it went from about 55% to 75%.
FMT pioneer Dr. Mike Silverman says it's not just one type of gut bacteria needed, but a whole ecosystem. And they can even personalize the poop pills.
For patients who are on certain types of cancer drugs and other people who donate for people who are on different drugs. So it's personalized medicine.
And Dr. Silverman says if you're in the London area,
let us know that they might be interested in being a poop donor. because we could always use more.
More studies will be done involving earlier stage kidney cancer, as well as lung, skin, and pancreatic cancers. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Coming up, top honors for Alberta photographers.
I was looking at everyone else's photos and there was some unbelievable stuff, so I was a little bit shocked.
The photos that wowed the judges from Canadian Geographic and how the photographers frame up the perfect shots. Stay with us.
On Your Morning, a maternity nurse on the importance of midwives and combating misinformation around births. Plus, an Edmonton hip-hop artist getting rare recognition on the national scene.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Checking on the markets, the Canadian dollar continues its rise, now just under 74 cents to the American dollar, trading for 0.7399 cents U.S. Oil was up $2.21, ending the day at $65.42 a barrel. Gold gained more than $14. The TSX ended the day lower, down 159 points. The Dow Jones up 55. Alberta teachers will be paying an additional union fee for more than a year to cover costs connected to the fall strike. A memo from the Alberta Teachers Association says members will be paying an extra $40 a month starting in February to restore the emergency fund. It's been depleted by the strike and legal challenges to the Back to School Act. The ATA says the monthly payment will continue until the emergency fund returns to its pre-strike level, which could take up to 16 months. In a statement, the association says the payments will ensure it's ready for bargaining in 2028. General Motors is shutting down its third shift at its Oshawa, Ontario plant. The union representing employees says more than 1,000 workers will be out of a job come Friday morning. It says about 500 direct employees will be impacted by the layoffs and another 500 workers who are employed with companies that are part of the plant's supply chain. GM initially said it would cut the third shift last year, but later pushed the timeline. Ontario Premier Doug Ford says the province will provide support to workers. Canada Post and the union representing its workers have finalized tentative agreements, which will now go to ratification votes. Canada Post says the agreements for rural and urban mail carriers include wage increases, enhanced benefits, and a weekend parcel delivery model. The Canadian Union of Postal Workers will now take the deals to its members for votes. If ratified, the new deal will be in effect until the end of January 2029. Alberta is getting a direct flight to the Middle East. The flight to Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates is scheduled to start November 3rd out of Calgary International Airport. That will be 1 year to the day after Alberta's international office in Abu Dhabi opened. The province says it exported $248 million to the UAE in 2024, primarily in agriculture. The flight time is just under 14 hours. A pair of Southern Alberta photographers are among those taking top honors in the Canadian Geographic Photo of the Year competition. CTV's Kevin Green caught up with them today.
Regular viewers of CTV will be familiar with the stunning photographs Calgary's Matt Melnick takes of the Northern Lights. But it was this picture Melnick captured of a lightning strike just southeast of Calgary that took top honors in weather, seasons, and skies in the Canadian Geographic Photo competition.
You know, I was looking at everyone else's photos and there was some unbelievable stuff. So I was a little bit shocked, but also, you know, very excited and happy and thrilled. And it's an amazing achievement, absolutely.
Photos were judged in 4 categories, the others being flora, fauna, and fungi, epic landscapes, and outdoor adventure, which is where Banff's Will Lambert took top honors with this shot of a friend climbing inside an ice cave at Jasper's Dome Glacier.
It was a particularly memorable day out with a couple of good friends and there just with the intention of exploring if we create something great, but just an amazing day out in the mountains. And I think this was one particular one that did come out really well, but you just never know, right?
Over half the top photos in this year's Canadian Geographic contest came from Western Canada.
I really just think it's because of the geographic diversity of particularly Alberta and BC. I mean, you've got the mountains, you've got wide open prairie, you've got incredible thunderstorms, you've got tremendous biodiversity in the mountains, on the coast.
For Melnick, it's also about planning and execution.
I put some planning into it. I frame it and basically, see the picture before you take it. I can kind of see that. I call it my superpower.
Lambert, however, doesn't overthink his adventure photos.
I think sometimes going with less of a plan and just the only intention being out there and having a great day, being safe and enjoying the mountains that you're out in. You know, anything else is a bonus.
There were over 7,000 entries in this year's Canadian Geographic Photograph Contest. Anthony Bucci of Port McNeill, BC, took top honours as Photographer of the Year. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
Still ahead, the mall walkers. A group of people who've been racking up steps, dance moves, and memories for decades.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV, starting at 7 with E-Talk.
Canada Post is honouring Black Canadian hip-hop icons on its new run of stamps.
I must have done something noteworthy for Canada Post to want to, make a stamp with my face on the cover. My father took this picture back in 1988, 89. So that's the picture right there, man, the stamp. So I feel blessed.
Maestro Fresh Wes is one of the stars featured on the new stamps honoring hip-hop for Black History Month. Mitchie Mee and the Quebec trio Muzayan are also featured. Mee, who's known as the godmother of Canadian rap, says being featured on the stamp means the world to her and her loved ones. Every morning in malls around Edmonton and across Canada, people can be seen getting their steps in before stores open. For one group in Ontario, the hobby has turned into a connection that goes far beyond the walls of the mall. CTV's Corey Baird reports.
It's 9 a.m. And this group of grandmas has burned more calories than most of us will in a week.
Look it out!
Meet the Melbourne Mall Walkers. 3 times a week, they turn this food court into a fitness studio. 2 decades and counting, still pushing their limits.
Everybody's so upbeat. Everybody's happy to come out. It's just a unique group of people, and we gel.
If you want to have an improved quality of life as you age, you have to stay active. That's a no-brainer. And this group, well, they've got it figured out. But it's what they're doing outside of these sessions that speaks to a quality of a whole different kind. They've traveled together from Sault Ste. Marie to Niagara Falls, and a few casinos along the way too, supporting one another through life's highs and life's lows.
This is my eye that was done last Wednesday.
They've been to funerals, too many to count, always together in uniform, a mall walker's honor guard.
We always call each other to find out, are you okay? Do you need anything?
Time doesn't slow down, so why should they? Many here are well into their 80s, and it's no stretch to say these workouts have improved their longevity.
I'm a diabetic for 41 years, and now I'm a pre-diabetic.
And then there's Zelda Drummond.
2010, I had a stroke. I just tried to keep myself moving.
Not just trying, succeeding. Here there's no fear of failure. Showing up, that's the victory.
If you can be carefree, even for a few minutes, that's a elixir of life.
Corey Baird, CTV News, Scarborough.
And that is our show for tonight. As always, thank you very much for sharing your time with us. I'm Jeff Hastings. Have a good evening.